The Evil West recently came out, and it doesn't really get more simple than a concept of just basically being an all American badass and killing a few vampires. But that doesn't stop this game from being one of the better games that I've played this year. Not best, but better games that I have played. And let's go ahead and give this a deep dive. Evil West, like I said, recently came out and I have enjoyed my time playing it, and I can't wait to actually finish this game. I haven't finished it, but I think I played it enough to give it a fair review, because it's not one of those games that like you need to play it all to get a review. You get the gist of the game. But anyways, let's get into what it's actually about. The American frontier is being engulfed by a sinister threat, and you are one of the last remaining agents in a top secret institute dedicated to hunting vampires. Stand between mankind and ancient terror that has recently emerged from the shadows, conquer the vampire menace, and defend the United States by becoming a Wild West superhero. In this game, you get to use multiple in this game, you get to use a variety of weapons. It is absolutely amazing. One being your lightning field gauntlet, which is gonna hold you throughout majority of this game, and it evolves and gives you more abilities. And one being a rifle, where you get to just play from a distance and shoot. And another gun being your 6-shooter, where you just kind of get some quick damage hits off, and it's actually really pretty cool. You can also play this game solo or with a companion. This game is probably ranging from 10 to 15 hours. It's a standalone shooter, very linear story, and it's so simple of a concept, but it's done absolutely well. The thing about Evil West, it doesn't introduce anything that is different. It actually it just does what you have seen before, but at a high level. And it's pretty much a horde shooter, and I know for some people that's not enough, but this game does have a story, and it's not the strongest story, but it doesn't stop that from being a great game. I actually enjoy the story myself, but it's a pretty cliche story. You play as Jesse Rentier, is part of the Rentier Institute. He works for his dad, and basically his dad wants him to be in his position, and basically he doesn't want to be in his dad's position. Instead, he feels like he should be out there hunting vampires. This is pretty much as simple as it gets. Obviously, that's just the long story short form of that, but it doesn't stop this game from being good. Alright, on to the visual aspect of this game. This game has amazing visuals. I like the high detail about the visuals of the video game, because like I tell everybody in my videos that I'm a graphic designer myself and an aspiring 3D artist, so I love when the game gives detail to the world and atmosphere, and this game serves absolutely this. From amazing underground vampire layers to nice lighting in the game. You see lots of red tones, blue tones, all of it. You get all of it. And I know from the trailer and from the actual branding aspect, it seems like you're just fighting in like this hell atmosphere. And I think that's something that's not portrayed enough, that this game actually, you're not just fighting in some hell atmosphere. It actually has some nice valley-like areas. It has like some water areas you get to play into. It has very nice details all around. It's just not like this burning red tone game that you're like fighting in hell. Because when I first looked at this game, the game that I can compare it to color wise was Metal Hellsinger. I was thinking that it was something like that, but it's nothing like this. Actually, in fact, this game, if you want to compare it to a game visually, not like on a visual level, but like the atmosphere and environment, it does give you a lot of Red Dead Redemption vibes. And it also is because this guy is a cowboy, and there's like a lot of the same like environmental things. So I wonder if they pulled a card from there in that aspect. But like obviously it's the same time period pretty much. It's just like it almost reminds me of, if you guys remember, Red Dead Redemption came out with a zombie mode in the first game, and this is like that, but if you were fighting vampires and you had like superpowers, right? So like I said, you're in that same environment, a lot of valley like areas, sage coaches. You're looking at like the old trees that are like in RDR2, that type of atmosphere, a lot of horses, things like that, right? I just had to point that out because I don't want people to just think that this game is like you're fighting in hell, fighting these vampirish demon type of aspect. This game does serve a nice environmental variety, and you're not just stuck in one type of place beating demons to death, uh, as majority of people would think that's what this game is about. Another thing that stand out to me in this game is, speaking of visuals, is the character detail and the cutscenes itself. Now, like we spoke about the story earlier, the story is not the strongest part ever, but these cutscenes in this game are some of the best cutscenes that I've seen this year. When I mean that every character detail is just so amazing. All the characters' detail is so amazing. The scars on their face, the like redness around their eyes, the sub-scattering surface of the ears. If you guys don't know what that is, 3 terms. It gets really nerdy, but you guys should look into it. But you can obviously tell like the 3D artist and everybody that worked on this game put an amount of detail into this game, because the characters do have like this human obviously face, but like really big noses, like really distorted noses, or like really big scratches around their eyes, kind of sick looking. You could tell they've actually been out in the West, and it doesn't look like just young people and stuff like that. They definitely put a lot of meaning behind these characters and the visuals that they are, even far as the clothing and things like that. It looks so amazing, so shout out to the artist in this. And another thing I wanted to get into, of course, is the combat system. The combat in this game is absolutely amazing. I will say it's not anything that's it's not introducing anything that is new, but it is doing the things that we have seen before at a high level. Constantly throughout the game, I am fighting, keeping it nice, keeping it really good, fresh, and giving me new skills and abilities pretty often, right? But I didn't feel overwhelmed. It was giving me abilities where I felt pretty good. Now, towards deeper into the game, I will say like I had a lot of abilities, so it was just kind of like using the abilities, waiting for the recharge, using the ability, waiting for a recharge, stuff like that. But this game lets you get abilities and you feel stronger and stronger as you progress, and that is the great thing about this game, Evil West. I was unlocking abilities, feeling like a total badass, punching these demons in the head. One of my favorite abilities of this game was being able to uppercut in the air, then shooting them in the air, and then I tossed my own little twist into it. There's this gauntlet that you unlock, where obviously in the game, and it's one of the main focuses of the game. I was able to pull the demon back in, zap him, give him a nice little combo, and I was figuring out combos myself. Obviously there's abilities like we said that you can unlock in this game, but you can put your own twist onto the combos yourself, and that is what felt really good about this game. Something I want to talk about a little bit more is, like I said, this gauntlet. So the gauntlet, I'm not going to go into great detail about because it is part of the story, but this gauntlet, you feel the importance of it. Like I said, you get to zap your enemies, and when you first get introduced to this gauntlet, it works as a parrying item, but it then turns into something where you can dash into the enemies, and you can pull them into you, and you give them a zap, and you get to like give them a flurry of combos, punches, and do some great amount of damage. And I love it, just the whole workaround with this gauntlet thing. It was pretty interesting. I couldn't pull a comparison of a game that had something like that. Maybe you guys can, but I did find that very unique about this game. And before I wrap up my review, I wanted to give this game another shout out that it did something so well. I will say it did this part so well. I gotta give it props. The loading screens are absolutely flawless. It felt one of the strongest points of the game. I was able to give a boss, because I play on the hardest difficulty all the time. If you guys don't know, I always play on a hard difficulty. I was able to give a boss 20 tries because the game was loading up so fast. And if you guys don't know, you guys know how usually you play a game and you might die to a boss and then you gotta wait 20 seconds for a loading screen. So really, if you're playing like a big game, you only want to give a boss about 5-10 tries before you actually get frustrated. Soon as I clicked after I saw that I was dead and I clicked OK, boom, right into another match. Like, I was able to give bosses at least 20 tries if I was dying that much. And that was the thing. I just wanted to shout out to this game because I don't know what it was, but even in the multiplayer it was moving fast. And we're about to talk about the multiplayer next. So some things that I wanted to touch on about the multiplayer. This is where I've kind of ran into the most issues about the game. Everything else worked flawlessly playing solo, but multiplayer I did see some visual bugs as far as like the actual demons themselves maybe getting stuck under a few things or like glitching out like walking wise. One of my biggest downfalls was when I played with my friend. In order to advance to the next area, I had to wait for her to do the actual interaction, and then I had to I could move with her. So like if I wanted to go to the next level, she would have to climb up this like structure, and then I would have to climb up to the structure. And the worst part about that was, like, say if the cutscene had like a part where her character stumbled, I would have to do the stumble too. Like, I had to do everything that she was doing, and it was kind of weird. And another thing that is about the multiplayer is that there is no other character. So you guys are playing as the same character, Jesse Rentier, the main character, but you guys literally look the same, right? And I was hoping that I could play as maybe a different character or something. So what we had to do was to change her. Like, you can customize in this game your colors, and so she changed to yellow on her character and I was red just to stand out a little bit more. But we literally looked like what's a doppelganger, right? I had a doppelganger. That's what it looked like. Well, in this case it looked like I was her doppelganger because I joined her, right? So pretty weird in the multiplayer ways. I did have some multiplayer issues, but solo this game works so perfect. I didn't see a bug or a glitch or anything. So like I said, Evil West is an absolute banger. If you guys haven't checked this game out, you guys should check it out. Pretty short game, 10 to 15 hours, few levels. It's a good game if you want to just give like 1 or 2 playthroughs. I don't see me playing this game 5 times. Maybe 2-3 at the most with some different friends, just for a different experience. But this game is a good game to get if you guys got some spare change, some spare change. But yes, cop this game, check it out. Let me know what you guys think. Appreciate you guys loving the review. We are back in motion on the channel. If you guys are new, make sure you like and subscribe. And I'm gonna get better with these reviews. I'm trying my best. I've been getting some tips and things like that. So I appreciate all the love. It's your boy Evil Genius. We're out of here. Peace.